On today's Hearts of Heroes, deep water, fast tracks, and no time to lose. First, a fishing boat sinks off the murky coast of Louisiana, leaving 3 fishermen adrift in shark-infested waters.
All of a sudden, boom, shark in your face.
As the men cling to hope, Coast Guard heroes fight against time to save their lives.
You're searching a massive ocean for a very, very small item.
Then, with no training, a Good Samaritan jumps into action to rescue an unconscious man fallen onto a busy subway track.
The man was actually being electrocuted.
I'm hearing everybody scream, then I hear somebody on the platform tell me, do CPR.
In moments of crisis, heroes are the first to rise and respond.
Finding yourself adrift in open water is a nightmare scenario for pretty much everyone. When you add sharks, it transforms into absolute terror.
When 3 fishermen had to abandon ship off the coast of Louisiana, they found themselves in an unimaginable predicament. Their only hope, other than their own resourcefulness, was the United States Coast Guard.
In the coastal communities around New Orleans, Louisiana, fishing is a way of life.
I was born and raised here, and I've had a fishing pole in my hand since I was a little kid.
In late autumn, Lou and Wen and his 2 friends, Paul and Son, were on a morning fishing trip tethered to an oil platform miles off the Louisiana coast.
We was catching little fish here and there. That's when the weather started kind of picking up.
Imagine 5-foot seas and winds blowing. You're rocking, you're rocking, you're rocking.
I realized my foot's starting to get wet. When I looked behind, we were taking on the water.
But the bilge pump, which removes excess water from a boat, wasn't working.
When their craft began to take on water, Paul decided to make a run for the shoreline.
Suddenly, their worst fears were realized.
Both my engines shut off.
Once the engine's dead, you're dead in the water. I made a distress call to give our last position.
But the distress call never went through.
And the nose of the boat started pointing up. I see all our stuff start floating.
We're going down. Man, we gotta jump in the water.
We swim close to each other. Suddenly start saying, grab whatever y'all can.
Being seasoned fishermen, the men knew that coolers like the one they had in their boat can be specifically designed to stay upright and stable in water. The men attached themselves to the buoyant coolers and started formulating a plan.
Sonny said, does your wife know we're out here? Do you think anybody know that we're out here? And I was like, you know, I told her we went fishing. They just don't know our location.
But the 3 friends knew that they were really far from the shore.
Land was not an option, it's too far. The closest thing was the rigs. That was the only plan.
And we're just gonna stay together and we're gonna try to swim towards the rig. It's pretty far, and it takes hours to get there.
I think we got maybe within 100 yards of it. And then as close as we got to it, we got swept away with that same current. You know, it's heart-wrenching, you know? We realized that it's gonna be a long night.
You think this is how it ends.
The 3 friends drifted helplessly throughout the night, and at first light, they saw a glimmer of hope.
In the distance, you can see the shrimping boat. And it's like 3 to 5 miles away. I look at the guys and I was like, I have to do this. I got them in this, I gotta get them out of this. And then I started swimming toward the boat.
He just takes off. I try to yell at him to come back, but he just ignores me and just keeps going.
Coming up.
All of a sudden, I see a shark within a foot of my face. And it's like, man, I guess this is how my book ends.
But first, it's never safe to underestimate the power of water. It holds immense force, not only at sea, but on land as well.
Every year, millions of properties across the U.S. face an urgent risk of flooding. Sadly, we frequently witness the devastating effects floods can have, especially on cherished family homes.
If you live in an area prone to flooding, there are several steps you can take to minimize damage. First up, sandbag smarts. Keep sandbags on hand to create a protective barrier to divert floodwaters away from your home's entrances. Second, electrical ingenuity. Be sure electrical panels and appliances are above potential flood levels. And finally, be mindful of materials. Store items in waterproof containers, ideally on shelving, off the ground, just in case of water intrusion.
When facing natural disasters, your first line of defense is to be proactive. The careful steps you take today could turn into tomorrow's triumphs.
Three fishermen were lost at sea when their boat sank off the Louisiana coast. Feeling responsible for the crisis, Captain Paul swam away from his two friends to try to reach a distant shrimping boat. Back on shore, their worried families had contacted the U.S. Coast Guard Air Station New Orleans.
We're a 3-helicopter search and rescue unit. Primary mission is search and rescue.
Even with their highly specialized training, they knew that they were fighting against time.
It was late morning when we got the call. They had been missing all through the night. So we knew it was going to be a big search area.
Hey, Air Station, this is District Command Center.
By analyzing wind, weather, and the men's last known location, the Coast Guard's Command Center utilizes a unique search and rescue program called SAR apps. Within minutes, they authorized to launch a fixed-wing aircraft, a rescue boat, and an MH-60 Jayhawk helicopter.
You're searching a massive ocean for a very, very small atom.
After almost 20 hours on the open sea, Luen was losing energy and losing hope.
I was tired, I was wiped out, and I told Sonny, like, Sonny, I can't keep doing this. And then I told him, just try to bring my body home.
I'm not gonna let him die. I'm gonna do everything in my power to help him.
He just kept pushing me along.
Then, things went from bad to worse.
All of a sudden, boom, shark in your face.
It was a really big shark, somewhere between 8 to 10 feet.
And he bit the life jacket in front of my face, and it was just gnawing away. If that part wasn't in front, my face would have been gone. That's how close it was. Decided to hit. The shark ran away. So now I find out my hands are bleeding. There's blood going down my arm, and it's just dripping down my arm. It's like, oh no, you start thinking like, oh man, it's gonna bring out the sharks by.
Meanwhile, Paul never made it to the shrimp boat. Floating alone in the empty sea, he made one last-ditch effort.
I pulled out my phone, I realized I still have it on airplane mode. I turned it off and I realized I caught a signal.
Paul couldn't believe his eyes. His phone battery was at 3%. At that moment, dozens of text messages began to flood in.
With his phone running out of juice, Paul sent a text to a friend.
I screenshot it and I sent it to him. And while I was texting him back, my phone shut off.
Paul's friend got the text and alerted the Coast Guard. The command center revised the search pattern and notified rescue teams.
We make a hard turn to the left, fly as fast as we can. Look down, and it appears that one survivor was attempting to wave his very exhausted arms at us.
Rescue swimmer Richard Heffley geared up and went to work.
We did a free fall deployment of the rescue swimmer, hit the water, and I swam over to the survivor.
They lowered a basket and pulled Paul into the helicopter.
Right around that time, we heard another call from the fixed-wing asset saying they located the other two survivors.
With their location confirmed, the aircraft radioed the exact coordinates to Coast Guard watercraft.
The basket comes up, there comes Luke. Basket goes back down, comes back up, there's Sonny. And it was just like, I don't know how I can get choked up talking about it, but it was like, we made it.
Coming up, we come face to face with some real-life apex predators.
Lots of sharks down there.
But first, as you can see, the power of water is both immense and unpredictable. Whether it's in the ocean, rivers, or because of a devastating storm, its force can be overwhelming.
Flash floods can strike without warning, turning safe areas into dangerous hazards in minutes. That's why it's essential to know what to do when the floodwaters rise.
Recognizing the signs of a flash flood can save your life. If you notice water rising rapidly, hear a deafening roar, or see debris quickly rushing downstream, don't wait. Move to higher ground immediately. At home, if you're caught in a flash flood, head to higher floors without hesitation. The higher you are, the safer you'll be. In your car, drive to higher ground as quickly as possible. Never attempt to drive through flooded roads. Floodwaters can sweep away vehicles in an instant. Your safety is worth more than a detour.
Be sure to stay informed with weather alerts and always listen to the local authorities for evacuation instructions. Flash floods are fast and furious. Don't wait for the water to reach you. Be alert, be aware, and act quickly to stay safe.
My name is Raina, and I am a professional shark diver and underwater photographer. Sharks are incredibly misunderstood creatures. They really have the worst reputation because people think they're scary, people think they attack you for no reason, but in reality, they're just an apex predator trying to survive.
I'm certifiably terrified of sharks.
That is fair. Hopefully we were able to change your perspective a little bit today.
Sheldon Yellen from our sponsor, Belfour Property Restoration, is traveling 6 miles off the coast of Florida to witness sharks in their natural habitat.
We're gonna chum the water a little bit to get the bait fish up to the surface. Once the little fish come up, bigger fish will follow, and then the sharks. The sharks are also auditory hunters, so we're gonna start smacking the surface of the water and making noise so that they know it's time to come hang out.
When they swam right at me, I was looking into the eye of one of those sharks. There was like almost an acceptance. You're in their territory, and if you stay calm, let them just observe you, check you out, they realize you're not a threat. They accept you, and they really give you the honor of being there with them on their turf. I've heard you say that they're more afraid of us than we are of them, yet there are still shark attacks.
99% of shark bites are a case of mistaken identity. I do not swim at dawn or dusk. I don't swim around anyone fishing or fishing piers because that's gonna attract shark activity, and I just try to not act like a prey item. We have never been on the menu for sharks.
Understanding their behavior doesn't make them any less intimidating, but I'll tell you one thing, you sure do get to respect their power and their place in the ocean.
Experts aren't sure why sharks attacked the 3 survivors in New Orleans, but they think maybe a dense fish population near the oil rigs, coupled with splashing and kicking, might have confused the predators into thinking that they were prey. A few months after the ordeal, we brought these thankful survivors to Air Station New Orleans to thank their heroes.
Hey, what's going on, man? Oh, wow. How you doing? Good. Haven't seen one of these in a long time.
Under much better conditions this time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm not tired this time.
You're not tired, yeah.
Without these guys here, you know, who would have known? It'd be a whole different story, you know? But they found us.
They risk their lives saving other people. That's them being unselfish, you know, putting other people's lives ahead of theirs, you know. I just appreciate every one of y'all. You guys saved our lives, you know, and selflessly, you know. You put yourselves in danger for us, you know, and just thank you.
It's not just us, it's also families and everybody else behind that's connected to us, so. They are heroes, yeah. They're always out there trying to find somebody, and it doesn't always end well, but ours did.
Coming up, a story so heroic, it defies belief.
The man was actually being electrocuted.
I'm hearing everybody scream, help him, help him.
Help him, bro.
Every day, millions of people rely on trains to get them from one place to another.
And when a passenger fell onto a 750-volt rail used to power these trains, one unlikely hero risked his own safety to rescue the life of a man he had never met.
Every day, Chicago's train system carries 750,000 people to 145 stations. But the Windy City's train system is different than the underground railways of New York or Boston.
If you've ever been in Chicago, you will see how our platforms are elevated and visible for the public and everyone to see.
In June of 2022, 20-year-old Anthony Perry was on one of those trains and would have to make a life or death decision.
I'm coming from my mom's house. I'm going to my grandfather's house.
As Anthony got off the train, he noticed a fight brewing between two men on the platform.
They got their hands up like they're about to fight. And I look down at my phone, and next thing you know, I look back up, they're like flying towards the train tracks.
In the scuffle, the men had fallen off the platform onto the rails. Then, one man was thrown directly on top of the high-voltage third rail.
It was a little bit past this sign right here, and this little area over here.
I look down on the train track, I just see a guy just shaking lifelessly, and I could tell he's in distress.
The man was actually being electrocuted.
I'm hearing everybody scream, help him, help him.
Hey, somebody help my man. Help him, bro.
You know, I don't see nobody taking action, so I figured why not step in and help.
He understood that he could not wait for 911, so he took it upon himself to jump onto the L platform.
I get down and I get a good grip of like his arm, and I know that I'm gonna get shocked if I touch him.
Anthony attempted to pull him off the electrified rail, but that sent a current through his own body.
And it was painful, like I felt it all through my body. It's like sticking a fork inside of an outlet and just holding it for about 30 seconds.
After 3 attempts, Anthony was able to get the man off the track, but his heart had stopped beating.
Then I hear somebody on the platform tell me, do CPR. So I flip him on his back and I just perform chest compressions.
This brave young man had never before performed CPR, but luckily, the procedure was taught in his high school.
The basics of CPR just kind of came back to me from high school.
Had none of the experience, so for him to do what he did, he performed CPR all that with the guy.
But the man was still not breathing.
I'll hear the lady say, open his mouth so he can get oxygen. So I open his mouth and he's starting to move and his breath is coming through more clear.
He resuscitated the man by giving him CPR. So those moments in which he jumped into a plan of action actually saved his life.
Right about then is where the fire department had came. When I seen those first responders show up, I was like, yes, help is here, like real help, because I didn't really know what I was doing.
Because of Anthony's heroic actions, the man survived. Bystander Tavi Gee recorded the rescue and posted it on social media.
It got bigger and bigger. People shared it, and it got to like millions of views.
Soon, the story reached Police Commander Roderick Watson of Chicago's 3rd District.
It was so amazing that I had to reach out to this young man.
He was kind of congratulating me, saying we need more people like you in this community, and it made me feel good. It made me feel like I did the right thing.
Anthony's moment of courage would change the course of his life.
We took Anthony under our wings for Chicago Police Department because I think he's a prime candidate. You can see that he's genuine, he actually cares. And that's what we need within the Chicago Police Department.
I really want to be a first responder because I'm able to give back to the community, and I think I'll be a perfect fit for the job.
There's so many aspects of Chicago policing. You can actually make an effect and a difference, not with just arresting, but actually helping the community. So Anthony has been a part of that.
It's definitely a different world now being around the police, and it's very inspiring, really, because I see all the love that they show.
Here's a young man who actually cares about the community and cares about his fellow man. He will represent us well. That young man is something else, without a doubt. He is a hero.
We have just met some unlikely and incredible heroes. The good news, you can be a hero too.
Just be on the lookout for your family, friends, and neighbors. Doing the right thing simply is the right thing to do. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.